Hi, I'm Alexandra, a psychic spiritual counselor, and welcome to Alexandra's Psychic Eye. Have you ever wished that someone could just take control of your life and guide you toward the profession or job that's most compatible for you? Or perhaps you'd like to start a business, but are too frightened to embark on such rocky terrain. Spiritual life coaching may be what you need to bring a little more light to your path. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Alexandra's Psychic Eye. Reverend Maria DeAndrea Solomon was with us a few months ago, and since she's a woman of many talents, we've asked her to join us again. Maria is an internationally known psychic from Budapest, a European shaman, metaphysical and spiritual teacher, and a published author of numerous books in her field. Welcome back to our show, Maria. We're really happy to have you. Today we're going to focus on spiritual life coaching, which is what you do. Would you like to explain to our viewers what exactly is involved in that? That sounds really fascinating.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me on the show again. It's always such
Our
a pleasure.
Uh-huh.
And spiritual life coaching is a little bit different. It helps you direct and control your own life. So it helps you deal with your abilities, what they are, what direction you can go in with them. I help you to decide what you would like to do in your life in all different areas. And basically what it does is it helps you to improve your life so that you have a life of abundance.
Now, what motivated you for wanting to go into such an unusual, work? It's really fantastic. What was the guiding light there?
Well, first of all, I always feel that when one person does well, we all do well because we're all connected through nature and through energy. So the more people we help to do better in abundance in all areas of their life, the better we all do. It's that little dominoes effect.
Yes, but I want to make a comment about that thought. What I try to teach my students as a spiritual teacher and counselor is that since we're all part of each other, when you're kind to another person, you're really being kind to yourself. When you're giving to another person, you're actually giving to yourself.
Exactly.
When you give someone a smile, you're really giving that smile to yourself. And I try to get that across to my students.
Oh, that's very, very
Very
positive.
important.
And
definitely.
it's a very powerful way to deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I find that I like to have people on the level of helping them find what their true path actually is in any area of their lives, and to help motivate them to move on them and to help give them direction. And then, of course, what happens is I give them direction on what will work for them, what won't work for them, how they can improve different areas. But whether they move on that or not, it's always free will. We never tell people what to do. We just give them direction on what would work the best for them, and then it's up to them in free will.
Oh, totally. Now, when a client comes to you all confused and dazed as to which way to turn in their life, where do you start? I'm coming to you and I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life. I tried one profession, I tried another. I'm like a lost soul. What do you do?
The first thing that I personally do is that I look at what area do they need the help in first, whether it's business or relationship or self-esteem. It depends on what area they would like to work on first and where it's needed. The other thing that I look at is what their abilities are, how they can use them. If they're not using them, what would help them move on it a little bit. And depending on who I'm dealing with, they might need different help. So as an example, somebody in business might need more help in moving on their career and trying to decide what is good for them, what will work for them, and what their abilities are that comes into play, what won't work for them.
Now, do you actually use your psychic abilities, or how do you approach people? What is your...
Well, I incorporate mainly three things. I incorporate a spiritual way of dealing, a realistic way of dealing, which is more mundane and down to earth, okay, and psychic, because we really need to work on our realities.
Right.
And
so you wear
I
many
do it
hats.
exactly. And I really feel that you can't just do one or the other. You can't manifest when you're just working spiritually and you're not working in this reality. And you can't work in this reality without understanding what your source is and how to work with it and how to improve your life. Because the point is to elevate your life to be on a higher level. Okay. So when you're doing something with the spiritual coaching, what I try to do is get people to move on a higher level for themselves and to find where their niche is. And if it's, as an example, if they want to be in a job that does not fit them, or they want to do something in their life or career where it is not their ability, it doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it. It just means knowing that up front, they can gauge on how to maneuver to do better.
Well, what's the difference between spiritual coaching and someone coming to me, for an example, for a psychic life reading?
Okay.
Or is there any difference?
No,
really?
there is. You're right. Actually, that's a great
there
question. No, there is
there
one.
is no difference at all. You know?
No, there actually is. When we're working psychically, when I'm working psychically, what happens is I'm getting information from my source. I believe in divine power, or God, or whichever way people want to perceive that.
Right.
Okay. So what happens is I'm getting information from a source, and I'm just passing it on to my client. So there's nothing where I have to think about it. I don't have to analyze it. I don't need to know anything up front. So I always look at it as divine power being one end of the phone, and my clients being the other end of the phone, and I'm just a wire.
So they can call you from all over.
Oh,
They don't have to come in.
Oh, no, I work with
Right.
people internationally.
Wonderful.
And the life coaching, the difference is that I'm using some of the psychic ability, and I'm helping them on a spiritual level, but I'm also looking at things from a logical or realistic point to get them to move. So there's 3 different levels in there. So some of it is me, and some of it isn't.
Okay. Now, what areas, other than finding a job, do you coach? Like, give us an example. Someone comes in, give us an example of something that you've worked on with somebody, because my viewers may call you and, you know. By the way, how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me through my website, which is www.mariadeandreasolomon.com.
Okay, well, that's going to be on the screen.
Right.
Now, give us an example of someone that you've worked with through your your coaching, your life coaching, your spiritual life coaching.
Well, as an example, I work on different levels. I work with spiritual besides business. I work with the spiritual levels. I also work with health, with relationships, with friendships, with love, all different success levels in life. So it's not just in one area, maybe one area as a focus to start with. But it really covers every area. And as an example, I had a very famous actress come to me once, and she needed to know.
Honestly, you're not going to tell us her name.
I can't. Legally, you
I
know.
understand
Plus,
that.
there's a level of trust when we work with people.
Right.
So, you know, we never break the trust. It's very, very personal.
Absolutely.
And when she came to me, she really just needed to know which audition to go to because she had 3 lined up at the same time. And she needed to know which one is going to promote her profession.
Did it have anything to do with the D, the letter D? Because right away I got a D.
Well, I can't say.
No, no, I'm not asking you her name. I'm just saying that the audition had to do with a D. It did. Okay.
And
that's what I thought.
it's always insane.
And I don't know. I don't know who this person is, and I don't want to know. But I just, I just got a D.
Yeah. Well,
and she went for
it
the
wasn't
D?
yeah, she went for that one.
All right.
Okay.
That was the right one
it
to
was
do.
it was very, very good because the other 2 would not have promoted her. Not that
Yes,
she couldn't have
one
gotten
made her
it.
go like that.
Right, and
Yeah.
it made a really big difference.
Quickly. It was a quick. It's a quick step for her to go up.
Now, with relationships, you really need to know what you need in a relationship so you know what to look for because if you're not happy with what you're getting out of the relationship, you can't really give back.